There are certain people that come into your life for a reason. And no matter how your life twists and turns, these people are deeply embedded and seem to reappear no matter where you land. Our guest today is that kind of person for me. Shavonne Conroy and I first met in the local San Antonio theater scene. We had both lived in New York City and enjoyed success as professional actors there, and we found an immediate bond in that commonality. I was caroling with Siobhan on a local TV morning show, and she was talking about a nonprofit she loved called Abode. It stuck in my mind because she felt so passionate about the mission, and I was picking up on her energy around it. Fast forward a few years later, and I was getting my yoga therapy certification. One of the modules was bedside yoga, providing yoga to people at the end of life, led by Molly Lannon Kenny. And one of our requirements was to volunteer at a hospice organization or something along those lines. I remembered Siobhan's nonprofit that she so loved. I reached out to her. She put me in contact with the amazing Mary Thorsby, our past CEO, and the rest is history. I say that, but that's not where the story ends. When Mary Thorsby retired, Siobhan stepped in as interim CEO, and we picked up right where we left off, connecting about everything from producing Broadway musicals in New York City to serving people at the end of life. You might consider us kindred spirits. We are so deeply ingrained in each other's lives right now. And that makes me feel like celebrating. Siobhan is a celebration of a woman. She began her career as a singer and spent years on stage in New York and in regional productions. And on the small screen, you may have seen her on TV. She appeared on Late Night with David Letterman, Law and Order, Guiding Light, Rescue Me, to name a few. If you're lucky enough, you can hear her belt out the national anthem for major sporting events and veterans events. But it's the time she spends lending her rich alto voice to singing at funerals and the bedside of people at the end of life that really earns her her wings. I'm excited for you all to meet my friend, Shavonne Conroy. Welcome to Before You Go, the official podcast of Abode Contemplative Care for the Dying. At Abode, our mission is that we live in a world where death is not feared, and we live fully until we die. And we'd like to make that happen before we go. I'm Natalie Buster at Abode in San Antonio, Texas. Welcome to Before You Go.
Hi, sweetie.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, I'm so wonderful. We also have dogs in common. I love Audrey sitting on your shoulder.
Oh my gosh,
And
she's the best. And you have, how many dogs do you have now?
right now, we only have 4.
Okay.
And so we have 500 pounds of dogs, 4. But I'm also babysitting 3 of my kids' dogs. So right now, we have 7 dogs running around the house. So yeah.
And they're not like teeny tiny dogs like Audrey, right?
Oh
You
my
said
gosh.
they're quite a few pounds
Yeah.
altogether.
One of them, 3 of them are Great Pyrenees, but one of them weighs 155 pounds.
Gosh.
And I bring him to Abode, and he gets in the bed with the guests that want some doggy comfort.
Hmm.
And he actually seems to love it. And
He's like a death doula. He's like a doggy death doula.
he really is. He's very loving and thoughtful. And when he walks in the room, he kind of reads the room. He's
Hmm.
just one of those wise old dogs.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, yeah, I have brought him. So, hi, thank you for
Oh,
having me
hi.
on.
Yeah. We have so much in common, like I was saying. And,
Crazy.
it makes sense that it's led to this moment.
Yeah,
I really believe in that. Like
I
all
do
of these
too.
things happen in life and it brings you people that you need to have in your life. And you're one of those for me.
Well, thank you. And, I think anybody that wants to be involved in end of life work, caring work like that, we all care about people. There's a commonality of do what's right 100% of the time, maybe even put that other person's feelings ahead of yours if they're, people who come to Abode have 3 months or less to live. So I'm going to make their day better than my day, So yeah, I think we all have that giving, loving spirit. And what's so cool is you and I hooked up with that attitude long before Abode came in the picture. We like people. We're
Yeah,
people who like people, people who need people.
there's that
Anyway,
alto.
there you go. But it's just, yeah, it's who we are, and this is what's wonderful that it led us to this. It really is.
Well, you mentioned something really interesting because you said that we put the needs of others first, especially when they only have 3 months or less to live.
Uh-huh.
But I would almost say that that enriches our lives as well. When we put the needs of others first, it has
Right.
this ripple or this expansive effect that really lifts us up as well.
I couldn't agree more. When I've been at Abode and I have my Mikey there, Mikey's the 155-pound dog. When I have Mikey there and he's going room to room saying hi to people and they can hold his face, and I'll just get tears in my eyes, like everyone needs to be touched.
Mm,
And a lot of these people miss their animals. And if they have a dog that can't come to Abode, we invite all their animals to Abode, as
mhm.
many of your viewers might not know. We've had a pet chicken in bed with a woman. We've had a cat. We've had several dogs. But if it's some reason their dogs can't come, then Mikey's there to love on them, and it really fills me up watching them be comforted. So yeah,
Mm. I think it helps fill in those missing pieces, like you said, and just
that's
continues
it.
that care in a way
That's
that we
really
can't
it.
always say. We can't always put words in it. It's the feeling, it's the touch, it's the presence of this kind animal that really hits at a specific vibration.
I love that. And you said it fills in the missing pieces, which is so brilliant because at Abode, and for everyone who's watching, if your loved one is sick, especially if they're end of life, meet them where they are.
Mm,
What do they need at the moment? What's missing from them at the moment? It might just be they want us to sit and say nothing and put our hand on their hand. It might be they want their favorite book read to them. Maybe they can't see anymore. Maybe they don't have the energy to hold the book. We just sit there and read to them. So whatever's missing from them, we fill in.
mm. I love
And
that. Yeah.
that's what our tenets are, and that's what everyone on the planet should live life like that.
Wouldn't that be nice? We get caught up in what we see on the news a lot of times, and
Yeah,
and I think that all kind of fades away when you really focus on what's important, and that's the
yeah,
connections and the community with other people
yeah,
and really being there for each other.
exactly.
Mm.
Exactly.
So I know this story, but I really want our viewers and listeners to hear about how you first encountered Abode. What led you to its door?
Well, it's a funny, twisty, turny story, so I'll be really, really fast with it. So I sing at a lot of funerals. I sang at this man's wife's funeral. Her name is Peggy. And as everyone got up to the podium, I'm like, this woman is a card. Everyone loved her. She was a little nut job. I loved her. So I sing behind a curtain, but I have a monitor where I can see everyone who gets up at the podium. So the widower got up at the podium. His name is Hal Smarcola. He's retired Air Force colonel, and he is brilliant, lovable, and a goofball, just like my husband and me. So I'm watching him, and I come home, tell my husband after the life celebration. I said, "Hey, we're supposed to know the widower." And my husband has learned to trust my intuition. He goes, "Oh, so you stayed behind and met him?" I'm like, "No, I didn't." Well, 2 weeks later, I got a thank you note from him talking about my singing and talking about how it made him feel and how it healed so many people there. And they all thought it was a recording. And he said, "What? Thank you. I knew I paid for a singer, but we all thought it was a recording." So got that, had him over for dinner, and we got to talking. We hit it off. He's my best friend. He's my husband's best friend. And he said, "Oh, you've got to get involved with this place called Abode. Your caroling group could go sing for them for their Christmas celebration of life and light." And I said, "Great, sounds great. We'll be there. We'll carol for free." Um, and I said, "How do you know about Abode?" And he said, "Well, it was Peggy's pastor's brainchild.
Mm,
His love of ministering to people, produced Abode, but also he had been in homes where people were dying with a dirt floor. They were dying with no one to bring them a glass of water. They were dying so not being loved on.
Mhm.
Just not no their needs were not being met. And so he always had it in his mind that he wanted to start a place where your needs were met 24/7. And so that's how I came to Abode. And that was 7 years ago. And
Wow.
I know it's wonderful. It's a wonderful place. Everyone should come visit.
Oh, for sure. And we always invite anyone who's listening in the San Antonio area, please let
Mhm.
us know. We'll set up a tour for you.
Mhm.
We'll invite you in so that you can really, it's what I always say is that Abode is a feeling. I mean, it's a place, it's a home, but
Yes.
there's a palpable feeling when you walk in the door.
There
Yeah.
really is. You can feel the comfort when you walk in
Mhm.
the door. And it's not just me being woo woo, it's
Yeah.
everyone who walks in that door and stands there for a minute says, wow, this is nothing like I thought it was going to be. But we're all at that age where we all went to our grandparents' nursing home
Hmm.
and it smelled bad and it smelled like medicine and it
Hmm.
smelled like cleaners and it looked like a sterile hospital. And so when you can go to a place that looks like a home, looks like someone lives life fully there,
Yeah.
it makes our guests really happy, but it makes their entire family. We had one guest recently that had like 45 family members, and they were over here, the little boys were coloring, and over here they were eating, you know, whatever, Arby's, and over here they were meditating in our quiet room, and they just all moved in and they felt home. And
Hmm.
so that's what's so special about Abode. It really is home.
It really is home. I mean, that's in the name, Abode, right? And
Mhm.
it's definitely, like you said, it's a brainchild of Edwin Sasek and
Yeah.
Patsy Sasek, our two co-founders, really
Uh-huh.
with this vision of living life fully until we die, and then
Yeah.
making sure that everyone dies with dignity.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about you singing at funerals because I can imagine that people who are listening to this are amazed. Like, how do you do it? How can you keep your emotions in check in such a emotional space where you're holding
Right.
a lot of grief and emotion from the family and friends of the loved one who has passed? How do you do this? How are you able to do this?
Okay, this is going to sound very woo woo,
No, I
but
like it.
I think God gives us all kinds of powers and talents. And I think we are obligated to use those talents to help other people. I think it's our purpose. You know, people go through, I don't know, I never found my purpose in life. You need to listen more. What are your talents? How can you help other people with those talents? So I have big training in opera, and I missed singing with my legit voice. And I just thought, and I was at a funeral one day, and the person singing just sounded like she had no soul.
Mm.
And so I actually contacted that funeral home and I said, hey, I'm a singer. I've just moved back home to Texas from New York, and I would love to sing for you here. Because, so here's the woo woo part. Every time I sing, whether I'm doing the national anthem for the Spurs, or I'm doing 3 songs at a wedding, or a few songs at a funeral, before I go in, I put on my golden crown. It's my golden crown of God power, and I just let that warm white light flow through me, which I guess is very yoga-ish of me.
Mhm.
So I let the warm light flow through me and I say, this is not about me. This music is not about me. It's not about how great my voice sounds. Did I miss a note? Please let this music heal everyone out there who needs healing. It's going to make me teary.
Yeah.
Please let this music fall into their very souls and make them feel more whole, more healed, and grateful that they're here alive with their life celebrating their friend.
I love that. It's what the creative arts, I believe, is all about. And I love what you said that, we all have talents. And if we don't know what they are, we got to listen, we got to meditate, we got to get into that
Yeah.
contemplative space and pay
Yeah.
attention.
Yeah.
but that this gift that you have and this calling also is able to help heal people. And it led you to your very best friend, Hal Smarcola, who I've met and absolutely adore. And I'm sure he's listening. Um, and it led us to Abode, where we can do this
Yeah.
kind of work and really affect people on an individual basis, but
Hmm.
also on a universal way. You know, I believe that when we touch people in this way, and we're kind of putting that good energy out into the world, channeling that good energy,
Yeah.
it lifts us all up. You know,
Oh,
it
yeah.
kind of counterbalances, counteracts all of the awful things we hear in the news. It reminds us that human beings are good and we have this capacity to love and care for each other.
Absolutely. The majority of people are so good.
Hmm.
You can't watch the news or you won't believe that. But the
Right.
majority of people walking the planet are good, beautiful people.
Hmm.
And that's Abode is such a lovely way to be reminded of that. We have
Yeah.
volunteers. They're not making a penny. They're there reading. They're there singing to our guests, giving them massages. They're there clipping their toenails. They're there for them.
Hmm.
And people are beautiful.
They
Yeah,
really are. And I think it's sometimes being with those at the end of life that really
yeah.
allows us to see how majestic everybody is and how beautiful and full of light we all can be.
You know what? You
Now I'm
just brought
sounding woo woo.
I know you are. Woo.
Woo.
But, I mean, even if you're atheist, there is a God power within you,
Hmm.
whether it's
Hmm.
your own strength or your own power to produce change in a direction that helps you, helps others. It
Hmm.
doesn't matter if you don't believe.
Hmm.
There
Hmm.
is a power there, and so
Yes.
don't waste it.
Yeah.
But you talking about healing people at the end reminds me of a couple of guests we've had. You met them,
Hmm.
who who would turn to us and say, "Why me?" And we're like, "Okay, here comes the pity party. That's okay. You've got, I don't know, a month to live. It's okay. Have a pity party." But then they would look at us and say, "Why me? I am nobody special. Why are people being so nice to me?" And then I think Abode is there sometimes to treat people finally as they should have been treated their entire lives.
Hmm. Hmm. Now, oh, you're making me cry. You know, we care for people who maybe their last home was underneath the I-10 bridge.
Right.
And so, like, having a soft, warm bed can sometimes feel a little foreign to them. And it takes them a moment to trust that.
Yeah.
But what I love about the people who are drawn to Abode as volunteers or staff members is that that love is plentiful. There's plenty to go around, and
Plenty.
it can shock people a little bit. They might say, "Why me?
Yeah.
I did not deserve this."
Yeah.
But we believe
Absolutely.
everybody does. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's also not a medical home, so we don't have to say breakfast is at 8. If you miss 8, sorry, you don't eat until lunch. Lunch is green beans today, a chicken breast, and blah blah blah. If they want chocolate pudding at midnight, they get chocolate pudding.
Yeah.
And even if they want a glass of wine, they get a glass of wine.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
mean, if they want chocolate pudding for breakfast, they get it too. I mean, whatever they want. It's not regimented. And I love that. I love being fluid and flexible and really,
Hmm.
really giving people what they want.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a gift for us too, as the caregivers and the people
Yeah.
who are able to be with those at the end of life. Like,
Yeah.
what a wonderful treat to be able to serve.
I know.
Privilege.
I know. I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of sounding unreal the way you and I are describing
I
it, but it's
know.
so real. Come for a
But y'all
visit.
come,
Y'all
come and
come.
visit. Y'all come down and visit us. How would you say you're singing at funerals or at the bedside? You know, we have I think there's a great photo of you curled up next to one of our guests singing.
Yeah.
How have you seen this help people maybe process their grief,
Oh my
process their fears of dying?
Do you want to sing melody or harmony? Because I love both.
Uh, I don't care.
Okay, well you do melody then, because
Okay.
okay,
We'll switch.
Switch it up.
okay,
What
whatever.
song was it?
Why not? No, I won't be nasty. It's Silent Night.
You can.
Okay, I go to
Is that good?
yeah.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin, mother and child. Holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace. Good one.
Beautiful. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. I happened to have on my bright red caroling outfit, and I was running from a gig to get to his bedside because he wanted to sing harmony with me because he happened to have been a professional singer. And so that was just lovely. He was waiting for me. And my goodness, okay, talk about the show must go on. He had the lung power that you wouldn't have expected from someone so ill, and he passed away 10 days later. So I showed the video to a doctor friend of mine, and they said, "Oh, listen, that man's not going anywhere anytime soon." And I said, "Oh, don't underestimate a singer. They can have the flu, and the show will still go on, and you'll never know it." So,
So true.
yeah, so 10 days later, he passed away, and I was just so happy I was able to make the time to give him what he needed. But then also, you just go in the rooms, you get to know people, and sometimes I just say, "Do you like to listen to singing?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I said, "What's your favorite song?" And if I don't know it, I pull out my phone, I look up the words. But so many times it's like, "Oh, I love Amazing Grace. I love Silent Night. Is it okay to sing a Christmas song in August?" I'm like, "Absolutely," with chocolate
Absolutely.
pudding.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then one guest that I loved, his daughters came in, one played cello, one played violin. They were doing show tunes. And so when their concert was over, he was saying, their father was passing away. He was saying, "Oh, I love Fiddler on the Roof." And I said, "Yeah, do you know the words?" And so there he was doing, "If I were a rich man." And just for him to have lighten his load for a minute. So music heals. Whether you're sick or not, music heals. You can go put on Enya when you're in a bad mood and you're going to be uplifted a little, or the Eagles or whatever your jam is. So it heals to begin with. But when you're sick and you put on music, it's extra healing. And if you're passing away and someone will join you with music, oh, how visceral, how so many layers of healing involved with singing bedside, singing at funerals for the grieving.
I have this theory, I love the idea of living in that liminal space. And so we're in that liminal space or that threshold when people are at the end of life. And we have the privilege of being with people when they're at that threshold. I also see singing and music and the arts as being in that threshold because you go to this space, you go to another dimension when you are in the flow of the music, of the
Yeah.
connection, of the art form. And so
Yes.
when the two combine, it's magical. Like you said, layers of healing.
I love that. I read an article a million years ago that during the Great Depression, attendance at theater shot up exponentially. They all needed the arts to uplift them. They all needed the joy of the people giving of their very souls on stage, and the movies. And I just love that. So I think in times of tragedy, people do turn to the arts. I know I'd rather go see a musical than I'm not going to go see Death of a Salesman when I'm having a bad time in life. I'm going to go see Kinky Boots,
Right, right.
Newsies, Hairspray.
Something uplifting, and I think
Absolutely.
it gives us that connection that's sometimes beyond words. I always
Absolutely.
remember that scene in Shawshank Redemption where he plays an aria over
Oh,
the prison loudspeaker,
yeah.
and everyone is connected, everyone is united in that moment. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's such a great metaphor for what music and art can do. It just connects
Oh, I agree. I agree. And
and
while
it
we're talking,
transcends. Yeah, I saw your sweet
so you saw
puppy
the
dog.
big white tail going by. Yeah, that's one of them. Leave that in.
Leave it in. Yeah, I know that's the reality, right? I mean, it's just again layers of healing. What do you wish more people knew about death, dying, and grief?
I wish people knew that it's really not frightening. And it is what you make it, actually. So you don't have to make it scary. Um, in studying to be an end of life doula, I found out probably one of the greatest fears of people is being in pain at the end. You don't have to be in pain. There's so many things that we can do and take care of, and you don't have to be alone. People don't want to be alone, but most people don't want to be alone. There's a lot of people who do. So at Abode, if they don't want to be alone, we have people who come and sit with them for their 11th hour, read scriptures to them, read the funny papers, whatever they want at the end, say nothing. And then we have the people that want to be alone, and everyone goes to dinner and then they pass away because they didn't want to pass away in front of their family. And it's all okay. And I think I would want more people to know you can have your death, for the most part, as you want it. And it's really up to you. It's not up to your family. It's up to you. Do you want candles? Do you want music? Do you want your family there? Do you only want your best friend and your dog there? I mean, what do you want? We're going to make it exactly like you want it. So you're the most comfortable, and we take away as much fear as possible.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Well, I think that's why, having all of your wishes, your advanced directives written down is so important because
Yes.
then you do have a say. Like
Yeah.
if you come to the end of life and you are unable to communicate anymore, you have this written down somewhere. And this is where an end of life doula can help
Hmm.
you record those wishes, help advocate for you and make sure those wishes are followed.
Absolutely.
And that way the fear and the pain can be abated. They could be
Yeah.
taken care of.
Absolutely. It's funny. Most people have warning that they're going to pass away. My dad dropped dead on the tennis court, 68 years old, shock. This is what I wanted to say about before the death. Just make sure every day you tell people you love them.
Hmm.
So he had kissed my mom that morning. He said, "Here's $50. Make sure you get that latest Harry Potter book for Alexandra," which is my daughter, his granddaughter. Make sure you get her that Harry Potter book. And he was leaving to go play tennis. And that's the last thing he said to my mom, besides, "I love you."
Hmm.
But he was taking care of my granddaughter, his granddaughter. He was taking care of my mom by kissing her on the forehead. And I just been down to Texas. I'd come down from New York, been here all summer, and we were having dinner together. And he said, "Gosh, I love you. You've been here all summer, and I don't want you to go." And most families get tired of each other after a weekend.
Right.
And he said, "I just don't want you to go." And 2 weeks later, he was gone.
Wow.
So, like, just make sure you're living now.
Hmm. Hmm.
That if anything happened right now today, you'd be okay with it. Because I
Oh,
guarantee he is dancing right now.
yeah. And
Yeah,
watching you and so proud.
yeah,
And I think that's where the creative arts can come in. Is like you have this gift,
yeah.
right? We all have these gifts, these talents. Live fully until we die. Use these talents
Gosh,
fully. Just use it up
yeah,
until we die. And I think that, that's one of our visions at Abode is
yeah,
we live in a world where death is not feared and we live fully until we die. But I really think that it's one thing to say that, and it's another thing to live it. And it sounds like you live it, your father lived it.
Yeah.
This life of service and love.
Hmm.
And what a great way to go through life until the end.
It's pretty wonderful. I love my life. I feel very blessed.
Hmm.
Um, I feel so blessed. And yeah, Abode definitely helps me do things in life that I feel are my calling. I help people. I help people anonymously. During COVID, Ray and Hal and I Venmoed artists money. You know, I'm not going to name any names. I will never name any names. But anyway, we have built our life around service, and Abode helps me do that in a more direct way to people who really need it.
Hmm. Oh, yeah. Have you found that this work has helped you with any fears you might have around death and dying, or has it changed your view of your own mortality?
I haven't been scared to death for a million years because I've had probably 7 friends and my grandmother pass away and come back and tell me what they saw,
Ooh.
and they all see the exact same thing, and it's much better over there than it is here. So there is an afterlife, and not everyone believes in that. I believe fully in that. Uh, so I'm not fearful of death at all. No fears. But I tell you what, doing this has helped with. It's helped me learn to talk to others about it. Um, so before, if let's just say a friend's husband passed away, I would see her and say, "Hey, oh my gosh, you look great. Uh, how's work? How's your son?" And I would be so afraid to talk about death with them because I didn't want to make them uncomfortable. And now I totally understand to give them the platform, and they'll take it if they want it. And most of the time they take it.
Hmm.
So it's more like, I am so very sorry about your husband. Um, would you like to talk about it? Would you like to tell me anything? How are you doing? How can I help you right now? And I'm here for you.
It's such great advice because I think a lot of people share your fear.
Oh,
Like they
yeah.
don't know what to say when a loved one has such a tremendous loss.
Hmm.
And I think what it can be real simple, like just giving
Yeah.
them space and
Right.
well, giving them a platform to
Hmm.
fill that space with whatever they need to say, and
Yeah.
that you hold that space for them.
Yes. It's kind of interesting how I assumed they wouldn't want to talk about it,
Hmm.
but a lot of people do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I can't assume what they want until I need to ask them. So now I ask
Yeah.
them, and I'm not afraid to ask them now
Hmm. Hmm.
because I'm a safe place
Yes.
for them to discuss whatever they want to discuss.
Mm.
So,
How do you keep yourself going? Doing all this work, you're doing a lot of work for other people. What is one way that you fill your cup?
oh gosh, I fill my cup in so many ways. My husband and I go walking now. I'm finally working out of the gym. Don't like it, but I'm doing it. But we live on a couple of acres here. Um, and I get out there with my chainsaw and I take down a dead tree and then make all this firewood. Um, actually, one of my best friends, Craig, he's also my hairdresser, and he says, "Girl, you don't get out there in jeans. You get out there in a sequin dress with your chainsaw." And I'm going to do a whole photo spread with me in a chainsaw and the sequin dress. Wah! Just
Oh,
because, yeah, I am a drag queen trapped in a woman's body. So yes, um, but yeah, I just have fun, and I have a really great husband who's very, very fun to talk to. I have kids who call me just to talk, and that's wonderful. I have a great mom who's 89, and we go take her groceries and have brunch with her. Then she treats us to brunch, and she's a hoot. She's a hoot and a half. She's wonderful. Tells wicked jokes. So I have a million ways I fill my cup, and
mhm.
sometimes it's just sitting out on our. My husband and I built a 1,700 square foot deck on the back of our house by ourselves, and sometimes we just sit out there with a cup of coffee and pet the dogs and count our blessings. We make gratitude lists because it's too easy to say, oh, that person cut me off in traffic and I had to be on the phone for an hour with the cable company. And it's too easy to dwell on the negative when there's more positive than negative.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, how can people find out more about you? Do you have a website? How can they reach you and learn more about you?
Gosh, I do have a website. There's not much on it because it's old, but you can
Sure.
find out about me. You can also Google me. A lot of funny stuff comes up when you Google me. And if you Google me and I'm wearing a ridiculous looking costume singing the national anthem, it's because Chamber of Commerce here in San Antonio hired me every year to do the national anthem for their big gala. And every year they gave me a color and a theme. So one year was Mardi Gras. So I have on bright purple sequins with this gold stuff in my hair. So I'm not being disrespectful.
Yeah, I just want to say, this is
say.
why.
But once you hear how I do the national anthem, I keep it very straight and very respectful of our military. So once you hear my rendition, you'll know that, okay, she's just wearing a really funky outfit singing the national anthem.
But the respect is there. I think I went down a rabbit hole when I was researching you. I found one of your episodes on Law and Order where you play like a juror who has to go and check out a tenement and something falls on you. That was
Yes.
pretty cool. Hey, there's Shavonne with red hair.
That was crazy. I know. Yeah, I know. I'm really a redhead. I'm this color because I'm so gray now.
You're an actress. That means you have all of the hair colors at any time, whatever's needed.
Right.
Last question I ask everybody, Siobhan, is what do you want to do before you go?
I want to keep doing everything I'm doing at the momentum that I'm doing it at. And I also want to tour Europe for an entire month with my husband and my children.
Ooh, I love
Yes.
that.
I do too.
I'll be waiting for the postcards.
Come with me.
Okay, well, I'll come with you.
You'll be a sister and you'll come with me.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Absolutely.
We'll sing to people in Italy and France.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Well, I just have to say I adore you, and it's so nice that when we have meetings at Abode, then you and I can go to lunch and we can just catch up on life, and you fill my bucket. And I love that because there's some people that you're with and they just drain you. They're a drain, and it's because they're not happy. And I'll put up with that because they need people like me. But you fill my bucket. And so thank you for having me on here, and thank you for being one of my sweetest friends. Thank you.
What a compliment. Thank you, Siobhan.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Mwah.
Yeah, right. We have to do this all.
Aww.
Oh, sorry. I was
Richard?
busy.
You're
Sorry.
so cute. You're
Getting
so
my
cute.
Thanksgiving dinner ready from
I
Siobhan's
love
book.
you.
One of Siobhan's other talents is that she wrote a cookbook that both Richard and I have on our shelves.
That's hilarious.
Siobhanne was the first person I ever met in San Antonio.
What? Tell us that story.
I was there and I wanted to dive into the arts community, the theater community, and like 2 weeks after I moved there, the ATAC Awards were, and I was like, I don't know what this is, but I bought a ticket and I put on some ridiculous outfit and I turned the corner and she screamed at me from down the street because my pants were so ridiculous, and she came running up to me, and she took me around that after the thing we were both had been drinking, and she introduced me to every single person in that theater, and it was super. It's been such an honor to be in her orbit since then.
It was fun. Richard's pants were so hot, and he looked so good. And like the cute little butt. I mean, he just looked so good. And Ray and I were there, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I love your pants!" And then and I was like, "I got to know you. Who are you? How are you so fabulous? I've never met you in your pants.
What are you doing here? Yeah,
I've never met you in your pants. I need to know you in your pants right now.
I'll get you out of your pants.
Right.
Yes.
So I introduced him to all the theater owners and all the people and all the movers and shakers. And we just went through the entire audience,
Siobhan does this. I think she did this with me as well. And it's just, It's one of those things. It's just
Yeah.
this
Oh.
ripple effect of the Shavonne effect.
Yeah.
That's
I'm going to
sweet.
coin that, the Shavonne effect.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, I like it.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Before You Go, the official podcast of Abode Contemplative Care for the Dying. At Abode, we believe death is not a medical event, and we are not medical professionals. We're just sharing our opinions, and these opinions shouldn't be taken as medical advice. You can find us online on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. This episode was edited by Make Your Day Richer.